Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Coach Rob, and it's time for another Coach's Log. You may notice that I'm in the exact same spot that I was when I left you from the last video. It's just easy to shoot here. This is on a ride that I'm doing. It's actually a pretty pleasant day in the shade, but out in the sun, I don't know what's going on. It's not that hot, but the humidity and dew point are ridiculous. In the last video, we talked about plantar fasciitis, and I gave some common sense approaches to dealing with it. And there's a lot more that goes on with that I do share directly with my athletes. And I think if you're a runner, cyclist, multi-sport athlete, especially multi-sport and runner, you're going to fight with plantar fasciitis at least once in your life. And it usually comes about because of overdoing something, doing too many hills too soon, too many miles too soon, that kind of thing. But in this particular video, what I wanted to talk about is a follow-up from something that I said in the last video, and that was the use of NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, naproxen. If you are having to use these drugs on a daily basis just to get through your day-to-day life, something's wrong. As I've also said in the previous video, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a medical license. I am a coach. And as we start to train and age and get into those later years in life, everything seems to ache on a regular basis. There are many, many other opportunities and options for controlling inflammation. Inflammation comes in all kinds of shape, forms, and factors. I have some content for a podcast that I'd like to do that is incredibly detailed on this subject. This is just a little coach's log. I'm only doing these 5, 8, maybe 10 minutes max, and there's not a lot of time to cover every little bit. But here are some things to look out for. If this is plaguing you and you have to get through the day by using those drugs, and it allows you to sleep, it allows you just to feel generally better. So if the area that's inflamed is not localized, meaning it's a joint, a particular muscle, a knot in your back, that kind of thing, and then you're talking about whole body inflammation, you probably have a diet problem. It's probably not necessarily sport related. So once again, dig into your phone book, start looking for medical professionals. You might want to be looking at a functional doctor, functional medicine, or integrative medicine professional. They're going to really grill you on a lot of things about your lifestyle, what you've done in the past, what you've been doing recently. This isn't a 5-10 minute visit to your general medical practice. It could be up to an hour, hour and a half long. Unfortunately, some of these practices are not going to be covered by insurance. Some of this is concierge medicine. You get what you pay for. Remember that. In these particular cases, as you talk with these individual doctors, these medical professionals, you may find out that they're going to want you to take blood tests. These There goes our local cow again. I don't know if he's in agreement or not, or she. So what you're going to do is you're going to find out if uh, where this inflammation could be stemming from. If it is in your diet, maybe it's something that you've been eating or not eating. Maybe it's something lacking. Find out. Go get some help. There are a number of other tests that I know my doctor likes to look into if I start kind of complaining about what I call whole body inflammation or just ongoing, aggravations, sleep issues, things like that. And then I notice that if I take ibuprofen one night, bang, I sleep like a baby, then I know that that's what's going on for me. And we've looked at everything from C-reactive proteins and cytokine and things like that. Uh, Also, increased cortisol levels. There's all kinds of things that could cause whole body inflammation. Now, if you start dealing with localized inflammation, joints, that sort of thing, I gotta tell you, we've been super, super happy with just glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM. It's all a combination supplement. And also collagen peptides. Be careful, some of them are kind of stinky. There's one on Amazon, and I apologize. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it right over here as soon as I can find the link. Wonderful product, doesn't smell bad. I will warn you that if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, that's not a product for you because it is bovine. The other things too that we've had a lot of luck with over the years are some other supplements for some of that nagging whole body inflammation, things like turmeric, ginger, boswellia, also known as frankincense, And those things are fantastic for removing all of those little aches and pains, localized and otherwise, in a lot of cases. Remember again, Coach Rob's not a doctor. Coach Rob works with very smart doctors. All right. Other things too that we do on a regular basis that really helps with either whole body inflammation and or joint inflammation. Sauna. Repeat after me. Sauna is your friend if you're an athlete. Too many things to go into on such a short video on how it's going to help you. I've had a number of athletes in recent years jump on board. I'm going to have to do an entire webinar on what the sauna does for you. It is on my list of webinars to cover. Other things too that we do on a regular base. I've also done some contrast work, so sauna and cold shower, that seems to help. I've even taken cold showers after lifting. That also seems to help, especially if I kind of direct it to the areas that I was working on. If it was a leg day, then I'm going to just flood my legs with cold water. There are some doubts out there of whether it attenuates the adaptations of that muscle development. But sometimes if you've got to limp out of the gym and you got to go back to your office, that's not going to be very helpful, is it? So my general practice for areas of concern or concentration with regards to generalized muscle soreness is foam rolling. Then you also have the stick, or you also have trigger point devices. Now the stick is this long stick. It's got little round sections on it that roll freely, kind of looks like little skateboard wheels almost. And you can really work on things. The foam rollers, depending on the density of the foam roller too, you can use them across broader areas, the entire quadricep, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, the shoulders. That's what that is excellent for. But the moment you start getting into a knotted area or a hot spot, if you like, then you graduate up to the stick. And you only work that area, not the whole area. You go to find where exactly the hot spot is, and then you gently roll into it, maybe 15 to 30 reps, and you're done. Other things that I like to use too are other trigger point devices. And it's kind of a fancy word for saying I'm using a ball. You can use all kinds of things. Tennis balls are a great soft place to start. You can also work up to a racquetball or a lacrosse ball. There are other things. I purchased one called Rad Rounds, and they are specifically for working on trigger points. I get one in my hip from time to time, especially when I'm running in the fall and winter, that just aggravate me to no end. And there's very little that I can do for it other than that. And then what I'll do is more or less kind of lay on it. Once I find the spot, I'll kind of roll into it. And then what I'm trying to do at that trigger point, it's a release. And so you want to sit on that little hard round and wait until that muscle just kind of releases, then roll right off of it. Now, finally, the last tool, or the last two tools in this toolbox for dealing with localized muscle soreness, both of them could be relatively expensive. One is EMS 10s, and that is an electro muscle stimulator. I'm not going to get into the details of exactly how to use it because, quite honestly, it is considered a medical device. You can pick them up at a chiropractor's office. You can buy them on Amazon. You may find out that there are a couple of YouTube sites, and I'll try to put a link into it. There's a couple of physical therapists that do a wonderful job training people online how to use these. And you're sending current to the muscle. And depending on how you set up that current, it will either relax the muscle or tense the muscle. And then finally, the last thing is percussive massage. That has become incredibly helpful over the years. Just recently, you've had some really expensive devices come on the market, but I've got one that I absolutely love, and it's less than half the cost of like a Theragun, and it's proven to be fantastic. And once again, all of these things are going to be right there. That particular device is, like I said, you can usually find it on sale from time to time. Right now, it's been holding its retail price for months. So it might be one of these things that you have to wait for until like a Black Friday kind of sale online. But what I have done with them is it's similar to the Rad Round or the stick. I'll look for a hot spot, and I have various little utilities or little tools that I can add to this percussive massager. And depending on how tight the little hot spot is, the knot that I'm trying to work free, I might just go ahead and attach one of those. And then I do what's called cross grain massage. So instead of running it down the length of the muscle, you go against the grain of the muscle. This is a common practice in physical therapy when you're doing what's known as myofascia release. That's how we get those trigger points to relax. All right, everybody, this was just a very short compendium of things to deal with that I'm trying to help some of my athletes out with right now. It's just a great little way to think about how to manage this. You don't have to suffer. Remember that first and foremost. If you're an athlete and you're in pain, seek medical help. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your training week. I hope you feel better soon.